Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I love to craft. Today we will be making a shaker cake topper and I'm very excited about this. This has been on my craft list for quite some time, so I'm very excited to show you guys how we are going to create one. I'm going to go ahead and go through the paper packs that we have picked out today. I already have taken the papers out. So we are going to be using 2 shades of pink out of the Pink Buttons paper pad by Recollections. We will be using the yellow shade in here out of the Seaside Recollections paper pack. Up next, we will be using this shade of blue here, and this is from Hobby Lobby, and it is the confetti paper pack. Actually, we didn't use anything out of here, so I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. This last sheet of paper is more of like a watercolor, and this one came from the Park Lane paper pad, and I want to say that that is the last sheet in that color. Yeah, so that's the last one that I have in this paper pack, so I'm going to go ahead and set it to the side. I did design the cake topper in the Cricut design space, so if you want a tutorial on how to do that, just let me know in the comments down below. But I'm going to be using my Cricut Air Explorer 2 to cut all of the cardstock, so let's go ahead and do that. I use the 405 Basics brand, and this is from Hobby Lobby in the standard grip. I know my mat's pretty used, so just ignore that. But I'm going to put that piece of cardstock there, and we're going to go ahead and get another one as well. Okay, now I'm just going to put the other piece right there, and then I'm going to run this through my Cricut. Okay, so it just got done. We are going to flip the mat over and just kind of fold the mat back. And you want to do this to make sure that your paper does not curl up. Okay, so we can throw away the extra pieces. And I actually might cut that off because that is a great scrap piece of paper. And we are going to cut 2 more smaller flowers, and this is a darker shade of pink. That's the light shade and that's the darker shade. Let's go ahead and run this through my Cricut. Now we could just peel that up and fold this up just a little bit and they pop right off. Okay, one thing I actually forgot is I want to make the number on the cake topper in this glitter right here. So I think that'll be really pretty. So I'm just going to put it right there and go ahead and run this through my Cricut as well. Okay, so this one I actually had to run it through the machine twice because it's such a thick piece of paper, but that is so pretty. Oh my goodness. So let's just flip it over and peel it down. The next one, we have this yellow piece of paper, and that will be the center of the flowers and also a circle. This one has finished, so let's flip it over. And we could set this to the side, and we have plenty of scrap paper on this one. Next up, we have another circle layer. I went ahead and grabbed a tray because I feel like I'm going to lose a few of these pieces since there's so many. So it'll just be easier if it's all in one little container, so we can just set that right there. All right, and this is done. So let's flip it over, peel it back. Again, plenty of scrap paper. We have our last layer, so I'm going to put it right there and run it through the machine. It cut out the circle and it also cut out happy birthday. I completely forgot about that one. So let's peel this up. And then let's flip it over. Since happy birthday is so intricate, I'm going to try and push it up with this little scraper tool here. We might have to do this in vinyl just because it's so tiny, and I don't think it's going to lay flat, but we're definitely going to try it. Okay, yeah, we're going to scratch that idea. I think that it would just look better with vinyl or with a thicker lettering, just because this is This is just not working. So we are going to just move on. So the last thing that we need to cut is the acetate sheet. So I have one here, and we are going to just put it across the top like this and run it through the machine. Okay, so now that this one is done, we can go ahead and peel it off. And since the acetate sheets are so small, it cut off the circle on the bottom and a little bit on the top, but it still fits within the circle. So we are good, nothing is going to spill out. All right, let's go ahead and start assembling the cake topper. So for this, we will be using some double-sided tape and some double-sided foam tape. Let's go ahead and start with our first layer. So we will need our second layer as well. There is glitter everywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we need to center that as best as possible, and we will be using the double-sided tape, and we are just going to cut some off. Put a strip there and there and peel it off. Then we're going to flip it over, center it as best as possible, push it down, and then we need to go ahead and add on our next layer. And we can do some more tape on here. Put one strip there and another strip there. Peel off that backing as well. And then center this one as best as possible. About right there. And then we can go ahead and start building up our flowers. We do want to add a little bit of dimension to the flowers, so we will be taking these foam dots and we are just going to place a couple in the middle. So one right there, and we'll peel that tiny little backing off. I'll zoom y'all in just a little bit so it's easier to see. And then we are going to put that circle on there, just like that. And we will do the other one as well. Peel off that backing and put the yellow circle in there. So those two are done. Let's do the two bigger ones. And for these two, I do want to add 2 of the foam dots so that it sticks a little bit better since they are a little bit bigger. I did get these foam dots from Temu, but you can also get them on Amazon or any sort of craft store as well. Let's go ahead and put that one down, and then let's peel off the backs of these. And then put this one down as well. And we can go ahead and do that larger one. We'll probably just use 2 for this one. Actually, let's use about 4 because this one is much bigger. And then we'll peel off the backs of these as well. And go ahead and put that one down. Just like that. So now that we have those assembled, we can set those to the side. And we want to go ahead and start building up the shaker portion. We want to go ahead and secure the acetate to the top layer, and we will be doing that by adding some glue to it. I'm just going to put some glue around it. going to take the acetate and secure it down. And let's let that dry. So now that this is done drying, we want to add the foam tape to the inside. So if this is the front, you want to do it on the inside. And here is the foam tape here. I went ahead and cut out a bunch of strips, that way that it's easier to put the foam tape on there, because sometimes if you use too long of a strip, it won't bend as easily. So we want to make sure that we have a bunch of short strips, and we want to make sure that you really cannot see it on the other side. So like that. And you want to make sure that they are very close together so that your glitter or whatever you are putting in your shaker does not fall out. Okay, so now that I have all of the foam tape around here, I'm going to go ahead and peel off all the backings, and I will be right back. Okay, I just got done taking off all of the backings. Another thing that you can do to add a little bit more dimension is add a whole nother layer of the foam tape. Now, if you are using a chunky glitter or filler, then you definitely need to add that extra dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more layer, take off the backing, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that I am done doing that, let's go ahead and pick out some glitter or filler. So I just wanted to show you guys a few different options that you could do. These are not necessarily the ones that we will be putting in here today. You can find this at Michael's, and it is the Recollections brand, and this is more of a mermaid style, which is so stinking pretty. It doesn't really go with the theme that we are doing today. I also got this, I think, from the Dollar Tree. If not, then it came from Amazon for sure. You can also do more of the chunky glitter from Hobby Lobby. They have a great selection as well. And here are some other examples. I always buy my glitter on clearance. This one was 99 cents and it was originally $3.99, so that was a great deal. This one came from the Dollar Tree and it has a lot of great options in there. And there is some more options. And there's some more of the chunky glitter. I think that this is actually to be used in like slime and stuff like that, but these did come in a 9 or a 6 pack from the Dollar Tree, so it's a great deal. All right, I think that we are going to go in with this right here. So I'm going to open it up and sprinkle some in. Let me see if I can actually take off the top. Oh, yep, I sure can. So you want to put in a good layer. Let's add in some of these. And maybe some butterflies. It does go with the flowers. I wish that I had these flowers in a different color. I think that like the neon pink and even the darker blue is kind of throwing me off, so I don't really like that one. We can try this one. This one has some purple flowers in it. Sprinkle a couple of those in there. And maybe even some of these pink stars. And I think that's going to be plenty. So now I just kind of want to spread it out a little bit, make sure that we do have plenty of filler in here. Okay, and now I'm going to take the back part and we are going to try and center it as best as possible on here. I'm actually going to stand up for this one, and I'm going to tuck my fingers under, that way that I can kind of feel, and hopefully we get it right. This is very scary. It definitely could have been centered a little bit more better, but I think that once we add on the flowers, you really won't be able to tell. So we'll put the 3 right there. Maybe we should put some flowers on here first, like that, and then add the 3 so that the 3 pops a little bit more. And then we can kind of have some more flowers going around it, or maybe even at the top to kind of even it out. So let's see, maybe do 2 right there, and then we can kind of layer these that way. Maybe just do 2. Kind of set. You just kind of have to move the things around. Or we could just do 2 smaller ones like that. Okay, so I for sure like the big one and that one together. I think it's just really cute. I would do the 3 in the middle, but it kind of blends in with everything. So I think that we are just going to go ahead and secure those 2 down. And we're going to use some double-sided tape. And we can just tape those 2 together. Peel up that backing, and we can put it down like that. I feel like the 3 is just covering up the flowers, so I think that we are going to use some dimension within the 3, that way that it kind of pops a little bit, and we will just use it in the center. So I'm going to use a couple of these foam dots. And then we are going to peel off the back. And then we are going to put it in the center. We should probably lower it just a little bit though, like that. And then we can add on our other flowers. Might just do 2 right here, and let's kind of have them hang off a little bit. So we need to tape these 2 together like that and peel off the backing. And then we can place them right there. All right, so now we need to go ahead and add on the little skewer. Okay, so we have our skewer here. What I'm going to do is just flip it over on the back, and you can either tape it or hot glue it, but today we are just going to tape it to the back. Some regular packing tape, and we are going to just place this across the back like that. Get around, and all that filler moves around, so it turned out so stinking cute. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it just as much as I did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!